Well, the barley grown here in central Montana, you can usually find in the beer that you drink. But a fourth generation farmer from Power is moving in a new direction, and you can find the product right here in these barrels.
But this is the new hopper, all these parts.
Ryan Fifely is a Montana Renaissance man.
Get out my laser.
He graduated with a degree in engineering from Montana State and took a job out of college.
That took me all over the world and even ended up in Scotland for a year and a half.
While in Scotland, Fifely developed an interest in craft brewing and whiskey.
And of course, when you're in Scotland, you got to do what you do in Scotland. And we went to many distilleries and tried many whiskeys made by the Scots, which obviously they do a fantastic job. So I got a taste for single malt whiskey.
But agriculture is in his blood, and the call of the family farm and Power was too strong to ignore.
The farming bug got me, and the sitting at a desk bug didn't get me.
For generations, his family raised barley for industrial breweries, including Molson Coors, just a stone's throw away in Power. But Ryan had other ideas.
I got into home brewing, but I had a problem. I couldn't use my family's barley to make my home brew because there's a middle step called malting. So doing what I do, I guess, I built a little machine to make malt and had a lot of fun with that. But through that, I learned about craft malting.
Ryan started producing craft malt for local breweries under the name Farm Power Malt. He attended malting school in Canada and met a family from Argentina who ran a distillery. Through that relationship, Fifely came up with the idea to create single malt whiskey in central Montana, which led to building a distillery in Power called Farm Alizana.
Single malt whiskey is 100% malted barley, and well, what do we grow here in central Montana? We grow fantastic malt barley.
But it's not just a passion project for Fifely, it's practical. According to numbers from the Brewers Association, overall 2023 beer sales were down over 5% from the previous year, and the effects are felt by producers in Montana.
If fewer people drink beer or beer consumption goes down or bread consumption goes down for the wheat we grow or flour, that'll obviously filter back to the farmer eventually with lower prices.
So an added value operation like a whiskey distillery can help offset those losses.
One way we can combat that a little bit is doing what we're doing here and kind of cut out the middleman or make a high quality product.
Farm Alizana whiskey is still a few years away from release as it ages in barrels, but Fifely hopes it's just the start of what could be a growing industry in central Montana.
Someday I kind of hope there's a dozen in this area, and that would lead to tourism and people traveling here, like they travel to Kentucky for bourbon or they travel to Napa Valley for wine.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.